Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Andrew.
It's Tuesday, so that means that Jimmy is off, distraught over Jacob's absence. But we are here reviewing the Despicable Me 2 trailer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something really Andrew-y right now. My favorite trailer of the year so far.
That's very hyperbolic. I don't do that.
It's true.
I never do that.
It's true, and I love it. Let's get right into it. Now, are you a big Despicable Me 1 fan?
I really like Despicable Me 1.
I really like it a lot as well. Now, this is the first trailer we're getting that's actually kind of story-based.
Yeah.
We got the banana.
Yeah.
And then
Which
we got,
was my favorite, one of my favorite
It's
teasers
amazing.
ever.
It's amazing. They're
so
really
funny.
handling this perfectly. And then we got that little Halloween short that they did, but we don't really know if that'll appear in the movie
Yeah.
or not.
I have to say the marketing's been kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
That first one was really funny.
Yeah.
It was a great teaser. And then the second one, it seemed like aliens were going to be involved. You know, like we
Yeah.
got abducted. But I guess that you're right. It was just like a
Might just-
Halloween
yeah.
kind of thing.
Now, the girls, Edith, Agnes, they're all back.
Very
Immediately
cute.
establishing this movie is going to be adorable.
Yeah.
This made me laugh. This whole trailer makes my heart glad.
Yeah.
Um,
It really is.
They got
just
now.
insanely
It's interesting because a lot of the voice actors were kids for the first one, so they
Yeah.
grew up. I don't really know how they're going to handle. Obviously, they sound the same. The girls
Sure.
have grown up a little bit in
Yeah.
it. Like he talks about her texting a boy and stuff like that. Not her, the other one. But they don't. It's not like they're dealing with like, oh, and now the girls are in high school.
Exactly,
kind of thing,
exactly.
You know?
It's also interesting to note that Miranda Cosgrove said that
Yeah.
they actually recorded all their dialogues. Oh, there's our little
Minion.
buddy. Miranda Cosgrove actually said that they recorded their dialogue in like early 2011.
Oh, really?
So that just shows you how long
Yeah.
the animation process for
Forever.
movies takes.
Now, the story of the original Despicable Me, like it was kind of a cheap. It was an inexpensive production.
Yeah.
They did a breakdown of it because there wasn't any animals with fur in it. Like everybody,
You're
they
right,
kind of
yeah.
cut down on production costs because, and that movie
It
came
wasn't
out
the
great.
Lorax.
Yeah, and that movie came out great. Now this is, I believe the character's name is Lucy, and she's voiced by Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
I really like what they're doing with the trailers because they have these like extended set pieces in them. It's not like
know,
this like,
yeah.
oh look, it's a funny story. It's like you actually see kind of what's going on.
Yeah, it really feels like the first 15 minutes of the movie, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you're right.
awesome.
And I really think they used the Eminem song very well.
Yeah, I wonder how Eminem feels about it. They used obviously an edited version of it.
Yeah.
But they had I believe it was a Pharrell song in the first Despicable
Yeah,
Me.
exactly.
So they've been keeping with the hip hop theme.
Yeah, but
And I think it's a really funny use.
I think it is, too.
This is gonna sound so stupid, but like this is kind of like they've kind of kept the marketing like this kind of hip cool thing.
Yeah.
So
And
I think it's really contemporary.
I agree. And I've always said that like good family entertainment, good like Pixar movies, good DreamWorks movies are the films where a family goes and they all laugh at the same jokes. Like I that's why I'm
And
kind
often,
of
I think the best ones, everyone laughs at the same jokes, and then the adults laugh at jokes that the kids might not even get.
but the
Pixar
kids
has
laugh
gotten
for
really good
maybe
at-
another reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But as long as the main like everybody's laughing and feeling the same thing, that way it becomes a unifying experience for the family when they go, as opposed to a movie that might cater too separately with jokes for the adults and jokes for the kids.
Yeah.
You know? Which would make it kind of, they might both enjoy it, but they might not
Yeah.
enjoy it together, which kind of breaks up the whole
Yeah,
reason of
the
going
first
to see it.
Despicable Me did a really good job of combining those
I agree.
two things.
And this, I think kids would like this song the way it's used because
Yeah.
it's really funny. You know?
Yeah, and
It's-
the Minions, I mean, they've already announced the Minions are getting their own movie, I think in 2015.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, by the way?
Great. I love them. Honestly, I'm like a 4-year-old when I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Minions. They make me laugh no matter what.
I kind of feel like the Minions could have, like, Universal could do that whole, like, Looney Tunes opening thing for, like, how they have, like,
Oh,
shorts.
yeah, with the Minions,
With
for
the Minions
sure.
forever.
For
A feature-length film just about them, I'm very curious. I'm not saying it's
I understand
a bad
it's a
idea.
joke that like because there is something to like wanting the next scene with the Minions in them,
Yeah,
kind of like with musicals, kind of.
exactly.
You're waiting for the next scene with the Minions, and you
Yeah.
kind of like them the best. But you need to miss them in between.
Exactly.
So-
It's like a full movie of just R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean,
What about these new characters?
Now, so we have the two new big characters. They're kind of pulling a Terminator on Despicable Me. The franchise of the Terminator, like Schwarzenegger's T-100,
Where's this going?
AT-800, was a bad guy in the first one, and then he's a good guy in the second one.
Right.
The bad guy in the first one, Steve Carell's character, obviously turns into a good guy by the end.
Yeah.
But he's like fully the good guy in this, fighting a bad guy played by Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Who we don't
Who
see in the
doesn't appear.
trailer. Yeah. They talk about him in the trailer.
But I imagine he hoo-ahs his way through this
Yeah.
movie.
It's kind of like Ocean's 13. He like Al Pacino coming into a sequel being the bad guy. I liked Ocean's 13.
I dig Al Pacino showing up in franchises.
I think he's funny.
He's
a funny
funny.
guy. Yeah.
He's having the time of his life.
He is. I like his persona anyway.
Yeah.
So if he's milking it for
so
enemies,
just
so much.
plot-wise, if you haven't seen the trailer, it kind of deals. Gru has been recruited by the anti-villain agency.
Yes, led by
kind of-
Steve Coogan.
Yeah,
Apparently.
a guy voiced by Steve Coogan. Not Steve Coogan, animated.
Yeah, sorry.
And he's kind of an inside source into villain, which is
He's like the Jodie Foster.
And look, this is
James Bond reference there.
Oh yeah.
I love me.
Oh yeah, the car that goes
There you
into
go.
the ocean.
Andrew, do you think this movie's going to be in 3D?
I wonder. I don't know. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I see a shot like a shark coming at me, probably going to be in 3D.
Safe bet that it's in 3D.
But it's
Yeah.
cool. They kind of they've kept the aesthetic from the first one, that kind of simple primary color kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, and they still have that kind of.
I know it's not only primary colors before someone's like, "There's orange," but like kind of a very simplistic. Everything's kind of smooth, and
Yeah.
again, like keeping the production costs down. But it's a little more evolved. You could tell from the shading and things like that. There's just a little more evolution from the first movie's animation.
Yeah, and considering the first one only cost about
I think 60?
65, something like
Yeah.
that, and it ended up grossing $550 million worldwide,
They're throwing some
probably
more money
gonna
at
throw
this.
some more money.
Yeah. There's going to be a completely fur character.
Yeah.
Just for fun. But
That's the
they're-
best gag in the trailer.
Yeah, and they're sticking to like
Yeah,
there's Steve Coogan's character.
great look.
They're-
That guy.
They're sticking to the jokes in the first Despicable Me were actually very grounded. It was a
Yeah.
very domestic kind of comedy. And I think the pins and needles thing is a really good example of that.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to break down the pins and needles joke too much, but like, they have this huge extreme thing, and the joke is that his foot fell asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's really, really
in a movie
funny.
about like the ultimate bad guys versus the ultimate good guys saving the world.
Yeah.
Those.
It has
jokes
this
are
kind
the
of and with the villain, the antagonist in the first movie, he was like, all of the jokes were just out of like how these two guys obviously were out of their league in villainry, and I think that's really
exactly.
cute.
I'm just enjoying this trailer.
Yeah, I think
Very funny.
that it's cool to see him also, because the whole first movie, you know, the Gru is kind of gonna have his heart grow and become a nice guy, and you're kind
Yeah.
of waiting for that moment, and it works, but you're waiting for him to start
Exactly.
there. It kind of ups the endearing factor. Like, you start from the beginning, like, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And that little girl is the funniest thing.
And the minions, oh my god. I can't get enough of these guys, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that I don't get sick of them with the Despicable
Just pointing
Minion
out,
movie.
Ken Jeong
Oh,
does
yeah.
does a voice.
Yeah.
I hope he's not going to be naked like he was in The Hangover.
Well, they already had the shot of somebody being pulled out of a trunk. I don't think they'll repeat themselves.
So July 3rd cannot come fast enough. I know
Yeah.
I get excited about this. I've really been looking forward
Yeah.
to, because they released the first trailer, the Banana trailer, a year ago, and it was hilarious.
Man. Yeah.
And it went viral instantly. We
Insanely,
that
yeah.
day it came out. We watched that like 10 times in a row in the
Yeah.
office.
It's just so cute.
It was
It's
like a series of
unabashedly
everybody coming in for an hour, just being like, "Oh my god, you have to watch this," and then everybody gathering around a computer.
Then the trailer
Um,
comes.
cute. And then we made
And
a
the Trailer Cats version, there will be a link in the description to the Trailer Cats version. But super
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, I
Super
hope
excited. Same,
this doesn't
same
go
creative team behind it.
exactly. And yeah, I think that's a big factor too. I hope this doesn't go the way of Shrek, where
Yeah.
Puss in Boots is great. They make a Puss in Boots spin-off. They do sequels.
Yeah.
Everybody gets kind of tired of it. Mm-hmm. I hope that this doesn't go that way.
Yeah, and I think
in the sense that I'm still liking it.
what's really interesting, what's happening, is that Pixar made and continues to make movies of such a high caliber
Mm-hmm.
in the animation field that other companies got to a point where they couldn't kind of like backhand it anymore.
Yeah.
They needed to
Yeah.
really up their game, and it's happening. Like this This movie looks great. The first one was really great. We have How to Train Your Dragon 2 coming out. The first How to Train Your Dragon is incredible.
Yeah. Probably the best. I think you said the best non-Pixar movie.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I think, and I've just watched it recently, but I think that How to Train Your Dragon is of Pixar quality.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I only saw it once in theaters,
and I think that that's really exciting that these other companies, instead of falling off, they've just all upped their game a lot to make really, really good, accessible family movies.
I can't think of any. Was How to Train Your Dragon Pixar?
No, that was DreamWorks.
Or, I'm sorry, DreamWorks. That's
and they turn out really good animated films.
Yeah.
The Madagascar movies were really funny.
Yeah, that's true. And the third one was the best of that. So hopefully they know what to do with the sequels.
Yeah. So
this is, of course, Universal's big own Illumination Entertainment title. So
and I mean they killed it with the first one.
Yeah.
And this one looks hilarious. I have not seen them step wrong since they started.
That's true. The Lorax, I think, was the same as Universal and Illumination. I didn't see that. Actually.
I didn't see it either, but it just I know it didn't light the world on fire really.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
This
is a sequel to someone
amazing.
I like.
This looks amazing.
Yeah.
So what do you think though? Are you excited about Despicable Me 2? I hope you are, or else we're gonna have words. But we're obviously super excited. Let us know what you think. We'll be commenting back. Until next time, I'm Ryan.
I'm Andrew.
Thank you for watching.